Hi everyone, myself Bhairwada Patil. I'm working as a senior tutor in the Department of Community Health Nursing. So today we'll discuss in brief about the communicable diseases. Communicable diseases are the major causes of morbidity and mortality. Morbidity is nothing but a number of disease rate and mortality is nothing but a number of death rates. Main causes of morbidity and mortality in emergencies are diarrheal diseases, acute respiratory infections, measles, in areas where it is endemic malaria. So this is like the causes of mortality and morbidity. These are the main emergency diseases, especially the diseases which are like which leads to a life-threatening condition like the diarrheal diseases, respiratory infections, measles, and malaria. Endemic is nothing but the disease will be present in a particular area. So the definition is the communicable disease is one that can transmit it from one person to other, and it is caused by the infectious agent that is transmitted from one source of reservoir to the susceptible host. So in general, like in a simple term, we can like the diseases which are transmitted from one person to other person, which are called as the communicable diseases. Then we'll see some of the terminologies which are very important to understand the communicable disease. Outbreak, occurrence of new cases of a disease in a particular time and place. So occurrence of a new cases in the disease or infection, we can call it as so it will be a new in a particular area or a particular time and place. Then the endemic, epidemic, pandemic, and sporadic. So these are the terminologies. It's very important. It's very important to understand these. So endemic is habitual presence of disease or agent within a geographical area. So means endemic is nothing but the disease will be present in a particular area. For example, the certain area. For example, Belgium, whatever the limits are the Belgium limits in it present only in a Belgium, not other districts. So that is called as a endemic. Then epidemic occurrence in a community or a region of a group of illness and rapid spread of a disease. So the disease will be occurring or a presence in a community or in a region, for example, region, but the spread like how like this disease will spread very rapidly. Like the rapid spread of the disease is called as a endemic. Then pandemic, an epidemic which is worldwide in distribution. Like we all know nowadays, like COVID-19, then many variants have come. So this is pandemic. Is nothing but the disease transfer from one country to another country is called as pandemic. Sporadic, it occurs in irregular intervals, means especially like in a rainy season or a winter season, some disease will occur or emerge. That is called as a sporadic disease. Then agent, host, environmental factor. So agent is nothing but a causative microorganism. The organ or a virus, it may be anything. So that is called as a agent. A causative microorganism, chemical substance, or from a radiation, like from where the infection occurs. Then host, a person or an animal that affords substance to an infectious agent. Like host is nothing but the person. It may be a person or a animal. So undergo the he gets the infection, that is nothing but a host. Then environmental factors like an extrinsic factor such as climate, insects. Environmental factors through which helps the occurrence of an infection. So agent is nothing but a causative organism, host, the person who gets the person or animal. Then environmental factor like the climates which help for the occurrence of especially like winter season, summer season. during rainy season. So then a fomite is nothing but a contaminated substance, not necessarily a reservoir, serving as an intermediate means of transport for an infectious agent. So fomite is nothing but a infected materials. For example, we use so many gadgets. For example, mobile, tablet, then remote, or it may be anything. So if once a infected person touches that, then non-infectious person means healthy person. If he uses that, like if he touches that, then he gets a infection. Like it is like a vehicle. So that is called as fomite, means which serves as the transport. Reservoir, anything in which an infectious agent lives and multiplies in such a manner that it can be transmitted to a susceptible host. Reservoir is nothing but a living or inert, like where the infection gets multiplied, then it will transmit to the susceptible host, means the person who gets the infection. Then there are many, like there are 5 modes of transmission. Like there are especially direct and indirect. Indirect, there are 5: direct contact, animal by transmission, vertical transmission, droplet transmission, and contact with soil. So direct contact is the person comes contact directly. For example, you touch the patients directly without having any kind of protections. For example, the patient, if you are working in a casualty as a staff nurse, then suddenly the emergency patient comes, you touch the patient with a bare hand without wearing gloves. So that is direct contact. Then animal by transmission. Animal by transmission is the infection comes transmitted through the animal bite. For example, we can a dog bite through that dog bite, or it may be any kind of animal bites transmissions. Okay. Then vertical transmission. Vertical is the infection is transmitted from mother to the children, like in case of pregnant. So after during the time of delivery, the kind of many like infections are transmitted or diseases are transmitted from mother to the children. Then droplet infection. Droplet is nothing but through the air or through the small drops. For example, if the person sneezes or coughs, then the person who is standing in front of him or beside, he gets like the infective materials will lie in the air. Then the opposite person will, like it will go to the through the airway, then lungs. So the infection start. Then contact with soils, like the infected soil. So these are the direct transmission methods. Then indirect methods are airborne, vehicle-borne, vector-borne transmission, fomite-borne, then unclean hands. Airborne is, as I've said, like if the person coughs or sneezes, infected material will lie in the air. Then it will go. Then if a person, normal person inhales, then like it will multiplication starts and the person will get an infection. So that's why we are using, for example, COVID, we use a mask to prevent the entry of a virus. Then vehicle borne, as we discussed earlier, like for example, if the infected person touches any kind of material, mobile or anything, then that mobile is used by the healthy person without cleaning it or anything. So that acts as a vehicle. Then vector-borne diseases, like we all know, there are many, like especially in the rainy season or winter season, malaria, dengue. So these are the examples of vector-borne diseases. Then vector-borne, like especially when the drainage water, like it lasts for many times, it is not cleaned. So due to the stagnant water, so multiplication of viruses or insects takes place, then that is called as a vector-borne disease. Then fomite-borne, the same thing as like infective materials, then unclean hands. So for example, after using a toilets or anything, then if you are not washing your hands properly, you're eating anything, if you eat anything, then that is a source of unclean hands. So these are the indirect transmission methods. Then there are some fundamental principles for control of communicable disease, like how we can control it, like very soon. Like the first one is rapid assessment, prevention, surveillance, outbreak, disease management. Rapid assessment is nothing but for example, if any cases, dengue cases or malaria cases have found in the village, or then they report to the nearest PHC, CHC or district hospital. So the respected, so the respected health person should like assess, like for example, from where the cases are coming, then what is the reason behind that. So have to go and find out. So assessment of the patient is very important, then assessment of the source, then prevention. So how we can do the prevention is like, as we, like as I said, we have to find out the source. What is the source? For example, if there is a stagnant water, then at least we have to clean it, either put a disinfectants in that. Then surveillance is nothing but a close observation of the patients as well as the like infection, if whether the infection has stopped or not, then patient is improving or not. So that is a close observation. Then outbreak control. Outbreak control is control of the cases, communicable disease. Like then disease management. Then how you manage a disease, like you emergency department, then you have to report, then you have to start treating the diseases, like give him antipyretics, anti whatever, anti like whatever the based on the like the diseases. So these are the some fundamental principles which helps in prevention and control of a communicable disease. And we know modern conditions that favor the spread of infectious diseases, like the global travel. This is very important, because if we don't know anything about the, like for example, a new disease emerges, then no one knows what is the route of transmission, what how it spreads. So that in case of that global traveling, like if a person goes to another nation, then it that helps in the multiplication of a disease. Then globalization of food supply and centralization of processing. Then population growth, increase urbanization and overcrowding. We know if a overpopulation growth leads to a lack of facilities, then overcrowding, for example, any communicable disease, overcrowding is nothing but a invitation for a disease. Then migration due to wars, famines, and natural disaster. Like what happens in a war and natural disaster happens, and there is no proper supply, there is no medical facilities, there is no proper drinking water, there is no proper food to eat. So that all things will help for the like for the diseases to grow, or infections, means it will help infections to come up. So these are the, and the prevention of communicable diseases. How to prevent communicable diseases can be prevented by appropriate preventive measures, which includes, so the first one is provision basic of clinical services, like clinical service in the sense emergency services, then providing supplementary tablets, then providing proper health education, provision of appropriate shelter in the house, clean water supply. So this is very important and basic needs of a people. If there is no proper water supply also, then we should try to manage a situation. For example, there is no proper drinking water, then we should ask the people to boil it and drink it, at least for like while emergency management. Then sanitation, this is very important, proper management of a sanitation around the house, in a house. Then mass vaccination against a specific disease. So if vaccination is available, then each and every person should be vaccinated properly. And regular and sufficient food supply. So if the person is eating regular food and a healthier food, then there like then the person immune system will be very strong. Then control of vectors like vector-borne diseases we should control by educating people and by maintaining proper sanitation. Then there are some levels of prevention like primordial prevention, primary prevention, and secondary prevention, and tertiary prevention. So primordial prevention is improving the lifestyle of the people. So the people who are prone to get the diseases, for example, a fat person, like he's very young, but he's very fat. So we can ask the person to change the lifestyle. For example, not to eat junk foods, do some exercises, proper healthy diet, so that's how we can improve his life. Primordial. Then primary prevention, increasing the resistance of the host, interrupt the chain of infection. How we can interrupt the chain? Like the first you have to isolate, then quarantine, personal surveillance. So primary prevention in simple, like we can vaccinate the person. So it helps. For example, uh, if we if we take a BCG, then we are protected from the tuberculosis. So that's how specific protection can be given using primary prevention. And secondary prevention activities targeted to detecting disease at earliest as possible time to, like initial as soon as possible we should, in this part we will identify the disease and try and start a treatment, begin treatment and stop progression. Examples like case finding, health screening, health vision. Usually these cases are found in a emergency. For example, any health camps or health screening camps, so kind of things. Like during that situation, these cases are found. Then started immediate startment of treatment, stop the progression. Then tertiary prevention is limit the progression of disability. Like person is already identified with some kind of diseases, then we should limit the disability. Like person is found with a diabetic foot, then we should not allow them to go to the like further. So we should treat it properly, limiting the disabilities tertiary prevention. Then there are some steps in management of communicable disease. First one is preparation, detection, response, and evaluation. So preparation is nothing but the people or the person or the healthcare person should be prepared for the mentally and whatever the required. For example, in case of emergency, we need health supplies, everything, so that should be prepared. Then detection is nothing but identification of a disease in a early stage. Then response. Once the disease identified, then how we are going to respond. Then evaluation, whether whatever we have done, it was useful or not, it is going right or not. So we should evaluate it properly. Then global disease eradication efforts. So there are some methods to accomplish the goal of eradication of disease includes immunization and vaccination. So this is very important, providing immunization to each and every one who is eligible. So like vaccination, like we know how now COVID-19, how we can control only the way vaccination and staying safe. So that is vaccination is very much important. Then drug therapy, like we can give a supplementary tablets, and if any infection initial stage, we can give a tablets which are required. So drug therapy is very important. Then community training. So the people who are living in a community, maybe a health person, it will be normal people, can be trained for the emergency services. Like emergency, they can manage at their level, community level. Then health education. Health education plays a very important role in prevention of communicable disease in terms of, like uh, we can tell them like health education can be given by a role play or some slides or pictures can be shown. So how it can be beneficial at the community level. Then national disease surveillance efforts. So from the government, there are many programs which directly focus on the control of specific diseases. So those are to be followed properly. So that's all about the introduction to communicable disease. I hope everyone Understood. So thank you all.